What is this? An episode about Edward? It's about time. This guy deserves an episode after how cooperative he's been with every other engine, having accidents and strikes. Funny how Edward's last major episode was back in Edward and Gordon of Season 1. That was the second episode, and here we are in Season 2 at the second episode. And Edward's tender number is labeled 2 also. I wonder if that was done randomly. Nah. Anyway, Edward is an old engine. He's very wise and knows a lot about doing work the right way. For this specific time, he was taking a set of empty cattle cars to a market. However, he was not aware that near his line was a group of grazing cows. Being that engines are not natural by design in sound, or anything else for that matter, the cows became frightened. And before anything could be done to prevent it, a couple of cows broke the fencing and one of the couplings on Edward's trucks.
Edward felt a jerk but didn't take much notice. He was used to trucks. Bother those trucks, he thought. Why can't they come quietly?
If only that were true, Edward. If only that were true. To his dismay, Edward and his operators would only find out about the broken tail end of his train once they reached the Tidmouth goods station. This, of course, spread like wildfire since we all know on Sodor everyone loves to blab about everyone else's mistakes. Henry and Gordon were having the most fun because, you know, they being big tender engines and all, wouldn't have that kind of a problem. Yeah, well, for the audience, we already know how wonderful big tender engines are. Hiding in tunnels, blowing safety valves, stuck on hills, falling into ponds, and going on strike are all very useful things big tender engines can do, right? Remember what I said about Gordonisms. They make the one talking look like a fool in the end. So let's see how that works here. Thankfully, Toby sympathized with Edward and understood his circumstance.
You couldn't help it, Edward. They've never met cows. I have, and I know the trouble they are.
At least someone pities Edward. It amazes me that nobody has a lot of respect for him. We've seen moments of redemption before, but nobody has flat out defended Edward until now. Thank you, Toby. Some days later, Gordon and Henry were still feeling all high and mighty about themselves. Gordon especially had to just rub it in as he flew through Wellsworth Station. Can you for once be delicate with your jokes, Gordon? Your timing is just terrible. Look at Edward's face. He's like in no mood to hear your crap. Along Gordon's line, he and his driver spotted something on the rails. As they closed in, they slowed down to realize it was a cow. Gordon, being Mr. Big and everything, did his best to move the cow.
Joe! Joe! He moved slowly onto the bridge, but the cow wouldn't shoo. She had lost her calf and felt lonely. Moo, she said sadly.
Well, ain't that just great? Others tried to move the cow, but she wouldn't move. Sorry, I couldn't help but make that pun. Then, as if right on cue, Henry came down the other side. Discovering it was exactly what both of them had spoken about, Henry felt it was his turn to move the cow. Except she didn't go. Without her calf beside her, that cow wasn't going anywhere.
Moo, said the cow. Henry backed away nervously. I don't want to hurt her.
Which I don't get how you would. That would only happen if you kept on going and your driver never slammed on the brakes. But that didn't happen, so stop making up excuses. Sheesh. Informing the signalman of the delay, the porter realized who the cow was. Her name was Bluebell, and they had her calf. So Percy was sent to go fetch Bluebell. I guess Bluebell belongs on Stepney's line. I can't help myself but leak these character names. Once the track was clear, Gordon and Henry reminded each other to keep their little incident a secret. Or so they thought. Again, stories spread around like crazy on Sodor, and before they knew it, Edward knew about their little run-in too.
Well, 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 chuckled Edward. 2 big engines afraid of a cow. We didn't want the poor thing to hurt herself by running up against us. You see what I mean, my dear Edward? Yes, Gordon, said Edward. Gordon felt somehow that Edward saw only too well.
Yeah, because your Gordonism backfired again. What do you think, Edward's stupid? I swear. Before, watching Gordon being a jerk was annoying. But now, it's more hilarious because of Gordon's Gordonisms blowing up in his face. Oh yes, we can handle anything because we are big tender engines, all to just stop dead when a cow is on the line. The Gordonism never fails at failing. This was a good episode, mainly because we got Edward in the spotlight again for a little bit, and he got the upper hand on Henry and mainly Gordon. Edward may be old, but at least gets things done. Also kudos to Toby for being supportive when need be. No other engine has shown Edward the respect he deserved when it was required. And finally, someone stepped up to the plate. No new musical tunes are heard this time again, but anything played at this point works just fine. Edward's theme is very much welcome to be heard again. The scenery has been cranked up a notch, however. It's amazing how these sets keep getting more elaborate and beautiful. Some of the panning shots of Edward going by with the cattle cars are new to the viewer. We get another first-person point of view shot for Gordon, specifically when it came to seeing the cow. It's always nice to get those because they allow a unique perspective on the speed of the train. One thing more astonishing than that was the shot of the Tidmouth goods station. If you look closely, one can see ocean in the background. That hasn't been displayed at all either. It's very pretty. And of course, don't think I forgot this one, the holy grail of views, the viaduct. And not only that, but the design has been altered slightly. No longer is that left bank continuing to go straight across. Now we can see what looks to be farmland out there. Either that was added just for looks, or we are actually seeing the island of Sodor evolving as a community. That's an interesting idea, right? Either way, still love that shot. I can't get over it to save my life. Whew, that was a lot, but still a good entry. Next episode is Birdie's Chase. Thanks for watching.